It was certainly a disappointing loss. I think Purdue is a good football team. Their coaching staff has done a great job getting them to where they're at this quickly. They play hard. They're very good offensively. Got good concepts defensively. They're physical. Special teams, they play well. So it's good. They're a good football team. But in saying that, it should have been a game that came down to the end. I think in terms of personnel, a lot of things that we need to get changed. It just seems like a lot of things hit us at once. Things that haven't been a problem. I don't think that some of the guys that are experienced football players for us played at the level that they have shown they're capable of playing at. That certainly was a problem. The second quarter was the ball game. 24 points to 0. We helped them out with 2 fumbles. We gave them some big throws. They had guys running free on some plays, and so they got some big and explosive plays that way. And so the second quarter just kind of took us to where there was a separation there that was hard to overcome. I felt good about our guys in terms of they stayed in the game, they battled, they fought hard, they made some plays, but we certainly, when you look back on it, made too many mistakes, too many errors that are correctable, but obviously we didn't do as good a job as we should have preparing them. They didn't do as good a job as they should have planned. So I kind of put the blame on all of us.
It's been a while since you had issues with the run defense. What did you see in that regard? Because that was really kind of the building block for everything they were about offensively.
Yeah. We're a gap-oriented defense, and we didn't take care of our gaps, our gap responsibilities, and that will cause big runs to occur. Give teams a chance at that. I think our physical. We wanted to play physical. We tried to play physical, but when you have those kind of breakdowns, being physical isn't enough, and so that ended up hurting us big time. But those breakdowns came in both the running and the passing game, which normally has not been the case for us. And I won't spare the special teams. I thought a couple of the special teams areas we won, a couple of the special teams areas we did not win, and we expect to win every special teams game because of the quality of players we have there, and so we're starting again, and looking forward to getting out there, getting to where we're practicing and get things corrected.
Coach, you guys talk about keeping the cup in terms of tackling, I guess. Sometimes it looked like your players are over-pursuing on defense. How can you correct that in practice this weekend going forward?
Well, we took bad angles and on some things, and that certainly caused it. That has not been a problem. Normally our pursuit angles are really very good, but there were a lot of things that popped up in this game that have not been a problem for us in past games, past seasons, and so that's the part that that we think can get fixed. We need to fix it immediately, obviously, to get ready for Kansas. But getting back to your question, it was more a matter of just improper angles that they took, and that usually has not been a problem with us. Usually we've been a good pursuing team and a team that does pin guys in. Now every now and then you'll see a rush trying to get to a quarterback, and the quarterback dips outside of them, and that's breaking the cup to us too. But normally we do a pretty good job of keeping people in the cup.
Playing quarterback this weekend, who's going to take the first team reps?
Well, you'll probably know a lot of that when it comes time to kick the ball off. you know. So we've given our guys a couple days off. They're back now. We haven't met with them yet. We'll meet with them, obviously go over the film with them, talk to them about where everybody stands, and then you know, practice that way. But if you're asking about the quarterback position, basically, was that? Yeah. We're going to need 2 quarterbacks to play for us, and there's no question about it. So we're going to prepare both those guys really hard.
Kansas gave up, I think it was 467 yards to Shane Morris. Is that an area that you think you guys could exploit this weekend?
Well, you know, both our quarterbacks are guys that are capable of throwing well and are runners. So, you know, whether we can have that kind of day, you know, we'll see. But obviously, in running our whole offense, you know, the quarterback plays a vital role in it. But we've got to hand the ball off at times too. And I know sometimes it's easy to say, well, hey, you know, you're hitting your head against the wall here. You know, let's throw the ball. Let's do this. Let's do that. And you know, I can understand that thinking. And in the second half, we decided to throw the ball more than just pound it up the middle. But in order to throw effectively, unless you're a team that puts the ball in the air 60 times a game, and everybody knows you're going to throw, in order to throw effectively, you got to have some sort of a running game going for yourself. Now we averaged 4.3 yards a carry with our running backs carrying the ball. We averaged 4 yards a carry with our quarterbacks carrying the ball. And, of course, the quarterbacks, you know, we had a sack that I think was maybe 11 yards. That gets thrown into that. So that takes it away from you. You know, normally with your running back, your running game, if you're averaging 4.5 or better, you're really running the ball well, you know. And so, you know, we ran the ball well enough to where we were effective as a throwing team in the second half. And the running game got better. I think if you really look at that, the running game got better, the runs got bigger as the game went on. And that's usually how it works in football if you run it enough. And so I was not totally dissatisfied with our running game. But and our line, I thought, played physical. So there's a lot of things that that we're looking at. You know, there's some corrections we're going to make. Basically, some of our thinking is sound thinking, and you know, we're not just going to throw it away because of one game where we played one quarter that was ridiculous, and then other than that, played pretty good football.
Coach, how disappointed were you when you went back and looked at film and saw that your 2 upperclassmen running backs turned the ball over? Those were your 2 turnovers on the game that you're looking at.
Yeah.
He doesn't fumble the ball.
Yeah. Well, you know, no one felt worse than those 2 guys because they've done a lot of good stuff for us, and obviously, you know, to say you're gonna go a career, you're gonna go a lifetime without fumbling the football, that may not be the case. You know, these guys usually protect the ball really, really well. It was just kind of an odd deal that both of them fumbled. You know, certainly that took us out of drives, give them 10 points. That took us out of drive. So at halftime, that game should have been a very close football game, but it wasn't. And but there were several reasons why it wasn't. And again, you know, we'll address those.
The fumbles, the reason why they didn't play in the second half?
You know, that's not the whole answer. You know, we started playing Julian, and he was having success. Now, it doesn't say those guys wouldn't have success in the second half. You know, because just in general, we were running the ball better. And but yeah, just you know, combination of things that had some effect on it. You know, but I'm normally not a guy that thinks you need to yank a guy out because he fumbled the ball once. You know, that's not necessarily gonna be. If you look at who was it, Kareem Hunt, Kansas City. If they'd have taken him out, they'd may not have been the same game. You know, so you never know. You know, you just go by a feel a little bit sometimes, and you see how it's working for those guys. If they seem to be onto their game, if they're not quite onto their game, or you find one of your top 3 running backs that's getting some things done, you have a tendency to stay with that guy.
The 15-yard penalty that was assessed to you. Is that you arguing more strenuously than usual about the no horse collar call, or was that the point of emphasis where you crossed the line or ran up on the official that they're supposed to be looking for this year?
Well,
Did they explain it to you?
not really. You know, I was maybe a foot, I know not more than 2 feet out on the field, and you're not supposed to be out on the field. So certainly I was wrong there. But I am always going to voice my opinion if I think a call is not made accurately. And so I guess if I was back 2 feet, I would say that, you know, in 50 years of coaching, that's the first time I remember being flagged. There probably is a time or two that I'm missing, but I can't think of it. And so, you know, that part of it wasn't any different. Me going after the official, and you know, I wasn't in his face, and I wasn't shaking a finger at him or gritting my teeth or whatever you might do, but I was letting him know that I thought he had missed that call.
Coach, you're also going against another Power 5 opponent, you know, Big 12 this time, and it was Big 10 last week. So I guess, do you think that the team kind of has like too much respect for like these Power 5 teams, or has like they see this mystique about them or anything like that?
Did you ever see that at Penn State, or when we played Illinois, or, you know, when we could have beaten Ohio State at Ohio State, when we dropped a punt return, a fumble on a punt return, we had them in good shape for them to lose and us to win. No, that has never been the case. If anything, you know, we were too relaxed going in, versus it being the other way. I take that almost as an insult, because we pride ourselves in getting ready to play games, and the better the team, the better we like it.
Sorry, just to clarify for the quarterback situation, is it because Maxwell was named the starter for the first 2 weeks, is it just kind of open right now for who would be the starter?
You know, we'll address that a little later on in the week.
Coach, you have Jesse Williams coming back into town this week. Does that change the game plan at all, come running the ball, since he has worked with he knows how Ohio likes to call their running plays, and he's the defensive line coach for Kansas?
No, that doesn't really change anything. Yeah, you know, our line play in terms of what we're asking people to do and the techniques we're using isn't different than a ton of teams out there. You know, you have some philosophy. You have a read defense and you have a penetrating defense. You know, you're one of the two. So, you know, we know what they are from watching film. They know what we are from watching film. Now, he knows maybe some of our personnel, obviously, a little bit better. But, you know, you are what you are on film. And so what coaches take off of film is what they game plan around. So, I don't see that being an advantage for them.
Will you have any kind of other precautions in place? There was some thought last year that maybe Texas State benefited in some way from having one of your former coaches on their staff. With any kind of precautions is Ohio taking this week, knowing that a former assistant's on their staff?
Yeah, defensively there will be. You know, I would be very surprised if Jesse knows our offensive signals. You know, that would be the case with almost all coaches, you know, on the other side of the ball. But defensively, yeah, there's some things that we'll need to get done.
You mentioned after the Purdue game that Quentin Poling was going to be out for a game or two, maybe. Is that still the case with him?
Questionable.
Question.
Given how the game played out, Frank, are you guys, coaching staff, are you guys weighing massive personnel changes, some personnel changes? You don't have to get specific, but where are you guys at in thinking of, in terms of personnel, or are you set? Do you have the right guys in the right places? Is that a process that you're still working?
Yeah, no, I think we're fine in that area, having the right guys in the right places. You know, we just got to get back to our experienced guys playing like they've played in the past, and you know, the guys that are newer, guys that haven't had as much playing time, you know, they made some mistakes, but that'll be a learning process for the young guys, and so we're not in any way, shape, or form in any kind of have any kind of concern about there being something here that we can't get corrected.
Also, do you have a updated status, I guess, on Darrell Wood and Sam McKnight?
Yeah, Darrell will be out, yeah, and Sam questionable.
Any questions, guys?
You guys have done a good job of bringing in players from Florida the last couple of years, given the weather in the state of Florida over the last week. Have you guys done anything with those players? Have you tried to alleviate concerns they may have for friends and family? How did you guys address the hurricane?
We all of our coaches contacted their recruits, and sometimes the position coach did too over this weekend to see how things were going for their family back there. So we've had contact with those Florida guys.
Was there concern from players here? Did they ask for anything, time off or an afternoon off to try to track down somebody or anything like that? Were there any additional concerns from players already on campus here with family back home?
No, those players, they did not approach the coaches, but we responded pretty quickly to that with our coaches approaching them. So